Appreciate you for pulling up, though. How are you today?
Glad we able to finally get on here, get it together.
Right. That's a big fact. That's a big fact. Well, let me introduce you. This is episode 13, I believe, of the Bars on Deck podcast. I am your host, King Swift. Uh, Welcome, Baps,
Hey,
Black
y'all.
African Princess. You already know the vibe.
Yep.
I already said how are you, so let's just get it off and popping. Where you from?
Okay, so originally I'm from Indiana, but I recently moved
Naptown.
to Georgia, like
Okay.
close to Atlanta area.
Okay, so when I do the video, I'll put Atlanta, Georgia. Is that fine?
Yep, that's cool. Yep.
All right, cool. So welcome. And like I said, this podcast is about up and coming talent. You kinda got a large fan base, so you're not up and coming, but you
Oh,
still
I'm
like
still up and coming because I'm still independent.
got you. Well, stay that way because independent works out better in the long run.
Yeah,
Unless you could get a good deal.
Yep, that's all the research that I found out. Staying
Right.
independent is the way until you
That's a
know
fact.
your fan base and your numbers. Plan on
Right.
staying independent that way. So when you do get a deal, you can kind of have leverage because you already know what you can bring to the table. Know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And that's the best way to go. I tell a lot of artists that like don't be so quick to just jump right into a major
Yep.
label
Mm-hmm.
because the deals these days are not as good as the deals back in the day. You could get really screwed into losing all of your music and all of your publishing and all of that stuff. So you want to
True,
be
but I
make
do
sure.
like the fact that a lot of people are becoming more aware to that.
Right.
Because I know back in the 90s, a lot of people got bad deals because they like wasn't reading their contracts or they went with a lawyer that the label gave them. Like,
Right. It's true too. Back in the day, it was still hard too. You're absolutely right. It wasn't easy back in the day either. But 360 deals and all of that stuff is really messing up the
yeah,
game.
yeah,
You know,
for
you know what I
real.
mean? But
Mm-hmm.
so my first question to you is I noticed from doing some research that you said you started rapping when you were very young, around 15, right?
Yes.
So how did freestyling come about for you? How did what were some of the influences you had when it came to freestyling?
I can't lie, my number one influence in my music, it has to go to Lil Wayne. Like he
Mm,
inspired the generation of rappers, like
mhm.
literally almost everybody. Like his music, he was the GOAT for the
That's a
longest
fact.
time. I can't
That's a
lie, like
fact.
he was on top. So he's definitely my biggest influence. But then I also love like the Biggie and the, Lauryn
Okay.
Hills and Goody
So
Mobs and
so is it safe to say that Wayne is like your favorite rapper? Could I say that? Can we say that Wayne is your favorite? Or
definitely.
okay, okay,
Yes.
all right. So you started rapping at 15, and you were freestyling. I'm pretty sure you were dope from jump. But when did you?
I don't know about all that, but I think I was
Nah.
pretty good. I was just really, I wasn't taking it as serious as I take it now. Like it was just me and my sister, just me having a love for music. Just let me
Right,
spit this
right.
16. Let me put a couple bars together, see what I can come up with. Just having
I
fun
dig
with
it.
it.
I dig it. I understand that. So when exactly did you start taking it seriously and recording music and making tracks and doing all of that?
Okay, so we basically started around the end of 2018.
Okay.
And then I think 2019, that's when I like officially released my first video and my first mixtape.
Okay.
That's what people really don't understand. I really just got all the following and blowing up like I have just in these past 3, 4 year span. I grew my following that quickly.
That's pretty damn impressive because I've been
Yeah,
on Instagram for a long time and you see my numbers are
I
low. So
know.
so
Yeah.
I'm getting
It
them up.
really took my city by surprise because I just came up out of nowhere and then
Right.
I was instantly had a whole bunch of followers and just views and people was just messing with my music and rocking with me because they see that like I'm just real and genuine. I'm gonna be straight up with you. I'm
Right.
really not like a lot of these other female rappers out
Right.
here.
Right.
in my music. So I think that's what really made people draw to me more quickly.
Okay. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that, you know, the talent speaks for itself as well. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
that speaks volumes. So that's a good look. So let's just say, so you started taking music seriously. How was the transition from freestyling into rap? Like, was it harder for you to make tracks as opposed to writing music, or was the transition easy?
I would say the writing the verse part was definitely easy because when you freestyle in an easy 16, like you can turn that into a verse easily. But when it
Right,
came
right.
to like making the hooks, that's where I kind of struggle a little bit more on, which
Okay.
that's I'm not afraid to say that's not really my strong suit, but you're
Right.
supposed to take your weaknesses and grow on them. So I've definitely been working on making hooks and stuff like my weakest points, trying to straighten them up too.
I could dig that. I could dig that because that's a lot of people's plight. Like when it comes to making music,
Hmm.
they're like some people they can't do three verses or two
Right.
verses. They can do
Yeah.
maybe one strong verse and then the other verse might not be so strong, but
Hmm.
their hook game might not be, strong. So let me kind of segue into another question. How are you working with others to fill in that void to get the hook done? Is that like something you would do, or would you just say, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna just try my hardest to get this hook up?
I would say a little bit of both. Like I've definitely collabed with a lot of people that made dope hooks and then they verses ain't that strong. So I'm like, okay,
True.
you good for the hook. Like I
Right,
got
right,
several songs on my first mixtape with this African artist. He dope as heck when it comes to writing hooks. Like he's on a couple of my songs that he actually made up the hook and everything for, and he's saying it. So
nice. That's dope.
yeah, so I'm definitely down with working already, like especially if I see that you got potential. I'm not never gonna knock nobody's skill because who say that I'm the best rapper alive or you not good or whatever. We all have our strengths and our
Yeah,
weaknesses.
yeah,
So if
yeah.
I see the potential in you, I have no problem working with you or pointing you in the right direction for a little help or vice versa. If you
Absolutely.
think, oh, change this in your verse, I don't like how you say that, I'm gonna listen to you. I ain't gonna be afraid to take the criticism. And I
I
think a lot
got
of
you.
artists are scared that people, oh, they're not gonna like this. I want
Yeah,
you to be
yeah.
real with me. I want you to tell me that you don't like it so I can see, okay, well, I need to go harder.
Right, right. And I think that speaks volumes because it just music shouldn't be so easy and it shouldn't be forced either. It's like a gray area.
Right.
So you
Mm-hmm.
gotta really work hard to find that right verse that fits. So I like that. I like that answer. You know what I'm saying? That was a good answer.
I appreciate
Uh
that.
anytime, anytime. Uh when I introduced you, of course I introduced you as your Instagram name. That is also your rap name as well, right? Baps?
Yes, definitely. So BAPS is actually an acronym for a
I was
beautiful
about to
African princess.
right. I was about to ask you how you got it. I'm glad you
Yeah.
just went right into it.
So I'm a deep believer into our roots and where we come from, even though we're African Americans. Like I
Right.
feel like I'm trying to connect more onto our ancestors and our spiritual and our culture really for our people.
Right.
So that's kind of where I came up with that name. Because if
Okay.
you know, I know a lot of people know the movie Baps that came out, but it was beautiful American princesses with Holly
Right.
Berry.
I remember that.
But the movie was kind of ratchet as hell.
It
So
was. It
I'm like,
was very
no.
ratchet.
Yeah, and it was kind of degrading to our black women. So I'm like, okay, I'm about to take this shit and I'm gonna flip it. So that's really
Mm.
how I got the inspiration for that. You see what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Okay. I like that. I like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I like the tapping into the roots thing because a lot of us are not really woke like that, or a lot of us are not on
Mhm.
that page yet. So I get that you're like, influenced by African diaspora and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That's really good. It's a
Definitely.
good look. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people need to get in tune with that. So you've been doing this for a couple of years. You got a
Hmm.
large following. I checked out some of your music as well. I was doing some homework on your website, and I see that you got a what is it, a mixtape out now?
Okay, so I released my first mixtape in 2019 under Black Bonnie and Clyde.
I seen that one. Yes, I
Okay,
seen
so
that one.
yeah, that was my very first mixtape. And then also just the beginning of last year, 2020, July
Hmm.
1st, I dropped my very first album, which is entitled In My Bag. So
Nice.
yeah, I think and then hopefully, don't quote me on this, but by the beginning of the year, I'm also going to be releasing an EP with about 3 or 4 songs on there. We'll see.
Okay,
Some
that's
may
good.
not
That's
make
good.
the
So
cut,
you
but
working?
I'm definitely about to drop another EP, and then we also got another mixtape coming for the
Okay.
people because they love. A lot of my fans love my first mixtape because it was with my fiance who also does music. His name is EOC.
Right.
So he's really one of the people that really pushed me into putting my music out there publicly.
Okay. Okay.
So a lot of people like that mixtape. So we're also going to do another one, Black Bonnie and Clyde 2,
I
possibly
like
another
that.
mixtape. I don't know the
So
title, but that's what we're thinking about.
that's dope. I like that. I like that. That title. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty dope. So is that where you are now? So one mixtape, one album.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Okay. So you've been working. You've been working. I see you out here.
Yeah, I got
Um,
probably about a good 20, 30 songs out here.
that's
So I
good.
came blazing. I came people with giving people a lot of content. So
Yeah.
not just a couple songs.
Um, is there any like other social media outlets that people can find you on besides like Instagram and stuff?
Yeah, I'm on I know a lot of people know for independent artists a good site is Reverb Nation, of course. And
That's the biggest one.
Reverb Nation. I'm also on SoundCloud as
Okay.
well.
Okay.
And then also Facebook is the same as my Instagram. If you type in BAPZ, you'll be able to find me on Facebook and Twitter as well.
Okay. Cool. 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 So I'm trying to read these questions. Okay. So you see, I asked you earlier about working with others. You kind of really answered the question, but do you have any stories, any particular interesting stories that you could share from working with people?
Let me see. Okay, I'm going to lead with a bad story actually with working with people. This is one of the problems that I've run into as an independent artist because really, when you're first starting out, you don't really charge people for features, but you still,
Right.
you giving them your all, you putting your all into it, and then they don't release the song. So
Yeah, I
I've
hate
ran
that.
into that at least like 2 or 3 times, and I'm like, the song is dope. I'm like, what are y'all waiting on? Why y'all not releasing it? Like, I just wasted my fire for that. Like,
Yeah. Especially if you're not getting paid for it, like it's even worse. You know what I'm saying?
exactly. So that really just it just really, I had to charge it to the game, and now I'm actually charging for features if people want to work with me because of that bad experience. So, like
I
I said,
understand that.
I'm open to working with anybody, especially if you don't. But I'm just gonna have to charge you now, just because of what I've been through, the bad experience.
I don't blame you on that. And that's definitely what you have to do to like kind of force people to get it together. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I get that. So do you have any like merch out? Is there any other things
Oh
that
yes,
could
yes,
help
yes.
build your brand?
So I'm actually working on my merch line right now.
Okay.
Um, I'm working with a graphic designer. We're gonna have some clothes not only for the women, some sweatsuits and some
Okay.
t-shirts, all that good stuff, but we're also gonna have some for the men as well, a men line. So I'm
Nice.
working on
Nice.
those 2 things.
Okay. Okay.
Definitely by 2020, be on the lookout for sure. Maybe around like spring is probably when it's gonna be in full motion. So we'll
Okay.
have some summer wear and all that good stuff for the people.
Nice. Nice. I like that. You got to, because that's how you build your brand and make your brand stronger. You know what I mean? See,
Exactly.
I started my merch line for the podcast. I got like 2 clothing lines as well.
See,
And
that's dope. I definitely needed one. I need to get one of them shirts though, for real. Like DM
let
me
me know. I got you.
over the prices or whatever.
Nah, you were a guest on my show, so your first T-shirt is on me. After
Oh,
that,
that's
then
what's
we'll
up.
talk
That's
about it.
dope.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody pays when you come on the show. For the
That's
at
dope.
least for the first hoodie and the first T-shirt or whatever. I got you
I
on
got
me.
you.
You know what I
It's
mean?
good.
But
I
after
mean, I
that,
like to support people, so especially
I
my
respect
black
it.
people. If
Right,
that's your
right.
hustle, I ain't never gonna knock your hustle. That's another
Hell
thing
yeah.
that us as people need to stop expecting stuff for free or discounted from our people. Support me
That
like you support everybody else.
that's another conversation, but we
No,
could
I
tap
know.
into it a
So
little
that's why
bit,
I'm gonna
yo.
leave it there. I'm gonna leave it at that. But yeah, I definitely support you though,
Nah, yeah, I
100%.
appreciate that. I appreciate. And since we've been in, connected through Instagram, I've been seeing you, and I'm gonna share and do a lot more. And I think that's what the culture needs. You don't
Yeah,
need to know somebody. You don't need to rock with them. If they got something that you like or you dig, or you know what, fuck it, just support them for no reason. You don't.
exactly. It don't cost nothing to support nobody
No,
unless you're
not
buying
at
their
all.
merch or nothing. But just to go on their page, show them some love,
Right.
that's free. You on there anyways. 9 times out of 10, just scrolling.
It's a fact. So you might as well just
Tap it, like.
yeah, tap in and stop acting like that. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people be funny about that because you don't do nothing for me. Well, where's your product?
See, exactly. Like if
So
you had a business, I would support you because I would
right,
want you to support me.
right. And just I would just support off GP. Like, you know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? If you got
Mhm.
something, we already behind as a culture. So I'm gonna just
Exactly.
push you forward, period. And then when it comes to reciprocating, we get to that later. But
Right.
to push the culture forward, let me just rock with you. I get more support from people like you than my
Hmm.
own people, like my own family. You know what
I'm
I'm
telling you,
saying?
it's the exact same way for me. All those
Word.
followers, the people that's on my posts all day, every day is not my family. I'm gonna say that right now.
I see.
Strangers, people I don't even know.
Right. See what I'm saying? And that gotta change for us.
Exactly. Like for the culture, we need to just get out this frequency that we in, this low frequency, not supporting each other. We need to change that back to the love, showing love. What happened to showing love? Like that went out of
Right.
style.
It's been a long time ago, it seemed like. You know what
For
I'm
real
saying?
though.
Right. So that gotta change, you know what I mean? For real, for real. But let's not segue too far off.
Right, right, cool.
So my next question is, how would you describe your rhyme style, and how do you feel that it has evolved up until this date now?
Okay, I would say that I'm definitely like a punchline rapper. Like I want to say
Okay.
some crazy shit that nobody ever said because I always try to come with original lines that I haven't really heard nobody say too much.
Okay.
Um, so I would definitely say I'm a punchline rapper, and then I would definitely say that just my skill level, my tone, the way that I'm coming off the mic has grown from the very first song that I dropped to now. Like even on my first mixtape, I heard the
Right.
evolve. Like I heard evolving in my lyrics from the very first song that I wrote to the last song. And that's
Nice.
basically how I have that mixtape laid out. Like the very first song on my mixtape is the first song I wrote. The last one is the
Mm.
last one I wrote.
Oh, that's
And
dope.
towards the end of my mixtape, you can hear my music that it was getting more conscious. Because I would say my
Mm.
style is pretty much whatever I feel like based off my mood. So I'll make a
Okay.
song about turning up. I'll make a song about heartbreak. I'll make a
Right.
song about what's going on in the world, how the government's fucked up, like just
Right.
whatever
Right.
I'm
Right.
feeling. So it's
Right.
kind of hard to pinpoint my actual like if you want to try to put me in a box, like I do that purposely so you will never put me in a box as an artist because I'm
Okay.
limitless on what I'm trying to make. Like whatever I'm feeling, I don't want to hold back nothing like that. So
I got
that's
you.
how, yeah.
I could dig that. I could dig that. And I could definitely, like, I don't know you from too long, but I could see that the potential is there and the growth
Hmm.
is going to be enormous. I already see that. You might not be a big star and you just might be. But for now, I already see that the growth and the potential is there. You know what I mean? You just got to keep working. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? For
That's
real.
what people don't understand. When Nipsey Hussle said it's a marathon, he literally meant
Yeah.
you gotta keep going. Like even if
Yeah.
you feel like you at your peak of doing this shit, still keep going.
Right. That's a big fact.
Because it literally take you 10,000 hours to master any craft. A lot of people don't
Yes.
know that. And
Yes.
I don't feel like I've put in 10,000 hours. So I feel like I'm not even at my peak yet. I'm only
Right.
what like 3 years in this. It really take people around like year 5, 6 to where their skill level was really top
Hmm.
tier where they want it to be.
Right. Right. Unless you've been doing this since like 10
Yeah,
years old.
Tyler for real, writing
Right.
rhymes, and I just came freestyling. Wasn't taking it serious. But
Got you. So yeah, then I had another question. Okay, yeah. So you have, I know you've been in, it seems like you've been, I should say, culturally influenced in hip hop for a long time, even though you
hmm
seem fairly young. What's your favorite moment in hip hop?
ooh, it's so many moments. You really gonna ask me this? Let me
You could give me two if you got more than one.
favorite moment in hip hop. That's a good question. I think my favorite moment in hip hop was when it was kind of the more conscious era. I would say like the Lauryn Hill era,
Mm,
because the lyricism that was there, like
yes.
that time they was bringing that real talk, no dumbed down raps, real
Right.
deal lyrics. Like I would
Nah,
definitely
they
say
were.
that was my favorite era or my favorite moment in hip hop around that time when her and Common and all them people was out.
Mm,
Definitely.
definitely for me too. That was one of, I could say that's one of my favorite. I asked that question to another artist maybe 5, 6 interviews ago,
hmm
and actually it probably was longer than that. And my favorite moment was because I'm a little older, so I have to go back to like the '90s.
hmm
And my favorite moment is the Biggie and Pac when they got on stage and they had that record together. They had like a freestyle. I don't know if you know it.
Oh, word. I'm gonna have to look this up. They was on
Yeah,
stage together. So
it
this
was
was
on
before
stage.
the beef.
Yeah, this is way before the beef.
Right. Because they was cool one point in time. A lot of people don't know that they was actually homies and partners before all
Right,
that shit
exactly.
got shaky. But yeah, I'm gonna
Right.
definitely have to look that up.
If I can find it, I'll probably send it in your DM or whatever. But
Okay,
that's
cool.
one of
Yeah.
my best moments because it was two great
Yeah.
lyricists and they were
hmm
just like going back and forth with the bars. And I was just like, wow. I was young then, so I was like, oh shit, what's
Right.
going on here? You know what I'm saying? So I was really
Yeah.
impressed by that. You know what I mean?
I definitely say that the '90s was like one of the best era for hip hops. Like the
Yeah,
'80s, the '90s, those was
yeah.
like the best eras. Like
Hmm.
now, I feel like it's getting more watered down, a
Right.
lot less substance than it was in the '90s. I mean, it's still some good songs out there, but it's another reason why I try to stay independent because it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
the love I have for hip hop. I don't want to go too commercial,
Right,
like,
right.
and I
Yeah, you
feel
don't
like
want
that's
to.
what's happening a lot out here.
I mean, because of branding, I believe that because of branding, it goes that route because
Yep.
at first it starts off as hip hop and then you want to do so much more. And so that
hmm
you have to commercialize yourself. So
That's
I
true
believe that,
too.
yeah, I believe that's how it comes about. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't just stay an artist. You want to do modeling, like you have the look for that. So you can do modeling, you
Right.
can do acting, you can do all of these things. And now it's like, all right, well, you have to be with the people who commercialize things now. Your publicist is going to tell you, look, you got to go out there and do this and look this way and be this way and speak this way. So you kind of
That's true.
commercialize yourself, you know what I'm saying? But
The
if you're staying
industry
in the
has
realm of,
changed a lot because I feel like it's like
yes,
now it's like 80% your image, like you're saying, like
yes,
hmm
yes, yeah,
it's not so
it's
much
not who
about the
you
music
are
no
anymore.
more.
Right,
hmm
exactly. So that changes, and I think that comes with the culture and how it's going forward, and then things
hmm
that you may want. So you never know how it could, you know, shift. But as long as you stay true to you, I think that's the
True.
main. You know what I mean? I think that's the main thing.
You got
Um,
to stand on what you believe in, keep the morals intact.
right, right.
Just
Keep
try
that
not to
integrity
lose
real.
yourself.
Right. That's a fact. That's a fact. So I think that's all the questions I have. I don't really write questions down. You like the second person I wrote questions down for.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't my questions were starting to become repetitive, so I didn't want it to
I feel
be
you.
like every interview the same type of questions. But
Right.
that's
Yeah.
pretty
No, that's
much
smart. Keep it creative. I feel you.
exactly that. Yeah,
hmm
that's what I'm trying to do now. So I pretty much had like maybe 6, 7 questions. We kind of ran through them, so that's pretty much it for me.
Sorry.
But
No, that's what's up though. Thank
yeah,
you for having me on. I
yes,
mean, I see what you do. I think it's dope, especially you
appreciate you.
giving a platform for independent artists
Yes, yes, I
and not
appreciate you.
charging because a lot of people want to, charge you
Well,
and
not
all this.
yet,
So I know, not yet,
not
right?
yet. I,
I appreciate you.
right. Also, what I want to tell you is the show is called Bars on Deck. So if you could record a video, any
hmm
beat you like, maybe a minute, minute and a half, two at the most, just rhyming or whatever,
Okay.
and send it to me, and then I'll put it at the end of the video.
Okay, cool. Yep, I got you.
I bet.
Bars on deck.
Appreciate that. And I also appreciate you again for pulling up on me. I know we had a little, yesterday was kind of rough for everybody, but we finally got it
Yeah.
in,
Yep.
So we here now, and I wish you the best. I'm gonna stay in the cut, keep supporting, and I see you at the top.
I'm gonna do the same for you, man.
All right, appreciate you.
Peace.
Appreciate you. You have a good one. All right
You
now.
too.
All right.